is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Welcome back to the channel. Today's video we're going to talk about something that one of you guys actually asked for. I got a lot of questions that I'm going to go over and answer and kind of touch on. So that is going to be the video. Also, I'm going to be talking about the giveaway. Hit 500 subs, man. Really appreciate that. Please get down there and hit a like and a subscribe for us on the channel. I would greatly appreciate it and have you guys along for my content and stuff. Got a lot of cool stuff coming up. I really hope that you guys are hanging there with me. I know that coon season is out for the most part for a lot of places, so the enthusiasm kind of dies off for the sport around this time of year in some places, right? Okay, so shout outs are going to be at the end of the video. Then I'll take a break in the middle. But without further ado, I want to go ahead and I want to talk about Carson Grismer. Thank you for the comment. I really appreciate it. I think that you're new to the channel. You said you watched some of the videos. You had a pretty lengthy comment with a lot of questions that needed to be answered in there. So that's what we're going to do today. We're just going to answer some questions. Some of them seem a little bit obvious to maybe people that have been around the world and stuff, but these are very good questions. I really appreciate the questions. They're very answerable, and some of them can be kind of straightforward to understand, and other of them are going to be a little bit on the side of your own preference, right? So without further ado, let's go ahead and start answering this question. You've never been around coon dogs, okay? For anybody that has never been around coon dogs, it's going to be a very different experience than your typical house or your typical domesticated house pet. Some coonhounds are house dogs, so there is a difference there, right? So just even within the hunting category, the dogs that actually hunt and the dogs that actually do work, the outside dogs and the inside dogs are going to be two totally different dogs, right? And there's another thing here that a lot of people miss is that a coonhound will be a relatively normal dog up until the point that you start messing around with it, start getting it going, start showing it stuff, start building and enticing the drive in the dog. This is where the behavior is really going to split and really going to differ from your regular run-of-the-mill dog. Now, the more that your dog has been hunted, the more active that your dog has been exposed to the woods and to hunts and to coons and to, you know, game and different situations, the more you're different and more game driven your dog is going to act. So you can literally in one day of training have a dog that has never left your yard, that has never been away from you for more than 20 feet, and it comes back when it's called, to showing a dog a cage coon, and then next thing you know, your dog is gone. It runs off now. It chases things now. You're enticing and building upon a very high prey drive that some dogs unlock super quick and some dogs take a long time to get unlocked. So when we're talking about never been around coon dogs, right off rip you're going to notice versus regular dogs is that they're going to be very much nose driven. They're going to be very apt to jump on things. They're going to be very apt to look up if they have a lot of tree dog bred in them. They will instinctually follow tracks on the ground and follow it up something, smelling in the air. They're going to be very apt to get on your counters, very apt to get on your couches. They're going to be very hard to potty train at first. I have done the house dog coon dogs and the outside coon dogs. It is a very big headache to have a coon dog as a house dog. There's a lot of extra work and extra keeping up and extra tending to a coon dog in the house versus an outside dog. But what goes along with a coon dog for being in the house is you get a lot more brains, you get a lot more common sense, you get a lot more easily communicated things with a dog, like they've been around you, they know how you talk, they know how you sound. I've went over this in quite a few videos on the channel, but I don't want to stress that enough. The dog that lives outside and never comes in a house versus the dog that lives in a house sometimes or all the time are going to be two totally different dogs just based on the fact that you are interacting with kind of domesticated in this sense. And then as far as the outside dogs, the farther along on their training goes, the more feral or the more hunt minded that they're going to become, and the more unpredictable. I'm not going to say unpredictable. The more uncontrollable that it's going to be to get them to just behave and not hunt and shut off, right? So there is that. So if you've never been around coon dogs, there's a big learning curve there that you guys have to pay attention to, and you have to notice. And if you're going to get a dog for the get into coon dogs for the first time, you have to be ready, right? You have to know these things, or you're going to learn the very hard way, and it might be a very unpleasurable experience because they are a ton of work, and it does take a long toll on your mental stability when dealing with a coon dog, especially if you have one that is very, very mouthy, wants to bark all the time, because it is a habit that you can almost not pay them to quit doing if you have one that is just a mouthy dog, right? Let's go ahead and let's talk about things that I would do different when I was learning. Okay, so I will just go out here and I will say right off rip, me personally, I am the guy. I like learning things the hard way. That's just how I am. That's who I am. Work harder, not smarter. Um, Whether that has benefited me well or not, I like doing things the hard way and learning things the hard way, hands on. And this is all facets of life. You gotta touch the pot, man. You know what I mean? If the pot's hot, you gotta touch it. That's kind of the way that I operate. I have put myself through the ringer and back when it comes to training coon dogs and dealing with coon dogs. I've done things the hard way on purpose, and just to test if it does net a better result in the long end. Like in all things, I like doing things the hard way for the longest amount of time, and then through the difficulty of doing things the hard way, I learned the easiest way to take, right? So it's kind of like hard-headed for the benefit of being hard-headed. So things that I would do differently personally, I think I would do a lot more networking, a lot more getting out and hunting with people, a lot more getting around guys that really were in the game for a long time, and really kind of, going hip to hip with these guys in the woods and just kind of learning. I think at the end of the day, I was benefited a lot of great knowledge from a lot of great guys that hunted a lot of good dogs and did it back in the day, did it the hard way, and I learned kind of through that. Although when I got into dogs, none of those people had dogs anymore, so I kind of just got on word. I kind of just had people to bounce ideas off of with dogs and things like that. So if there's one thing that I would do differently, it would be definitely that. Definitely seek out information, seek out people that actually truly know what they are talking about. Now that is the hardest thing that you're ever going to have to do in the coonhound world, is to actually find people that know what they're talking about. Now, and I will just say this too, just because I know what I'm talking about for this group of people doesn't mean that I know what I'm talking about for a different group of people, right? Because we all have different ways, and we all believe different things and get different net goals and look for different things. So you have to find somebody that aligns with your thinking, aligns with your logic, aligns with your mentality, to take notes from, to listen to kind of get under their wing and learn the trade. Learning the trade the absolute hard way is definitely an option, and it is a very good, hard-earned option. And I'm kind of split 50-50 on that. All my hands-on stuff with dogs, I learned the hard way, hands-on, first-time experiences, and just burning that thing down and going again and going again and going again. That is just how it is. And coonhounds training is kind of just that. It is just pounding your head against the wall. That is kind of what it is, man. Because you're not only fighting the urge to just get rid of the dog because you're waiting too long, fighting the urge to put the dog in the woods, but it might be too early. It is such a balancing act to get a streamlined process, and I think the better that we get at balancing all these things, the better it turns out for the dog and better it turns out for us in the long run, and it pays off so much more. That's why I prefer training. I prefer training 100 times fold. I prefer the headache. I prefer dealing with the the painstaking, agonizing, barking in my ears all day if a dog don't want to listen. I prefer that way. I prefer the way that all of the dog men before us had to do it because they had no other way. I think one thing that I like to do is I like to kill a lot of birds with one stone. Not just two birds with one stone. I like to kill as many birds with one stone as I possibly can when I'm training and when I'm handling and I'm going through things. And I'm kind of taking the dog that is just this big blob, this big mess, and just kind of folding it under pressure into a nice ball, right? And once we get it locked into that shape, then we can get the ball rolling, right? So early stages, we're just putting the pressure on, molding the dog into a dog that we can get rolling, and then we're going to start rolling it and rolling it and rolling it, and we're not going to stop rolling that dog and just keep hitting it, like a tire with a stick and a tire, man. Just keep on getting that thing and winding it up and going and going and going. And that is the benefit of it. And the faster you can get that dog to do stuff, the faster that dog will get rolling, the faster that dog burns down that track, the harder that dog hits that tree. That is every bit of your work paying off. Every single tree, tree after tree, coon after coon. So that is definitely some advice that I would give to you guys is, do the hands-on stuff. Try to think ahead in your training when you are training. Try to get a dog molded into something that you can actually roll in a direction. If we want to think about it in that sense and that kind of metaphor, that is a good one, man. Way to get into the sport. Now, I kind of made a video kind of touching on this a little bit, but the number one way that you're going to get into a coonhound sport is, number one, you're going to find somebody that has dogs that goes. And that's whether it's on Facebook, whether that's your cousin, your uncle, your brother, your sister, your aunt, your grandma, grandpa, it doesn't matter. If they have a dog that is hunting and they will take you, go with them. Walk and carry the coons for them. Walk and carry the gun for them. Walk and leash that dog for them. Do your part and allowing them to let you partake, right? As much as they will let you partake, go ahead and do that. I have literally went in the woods with dogs because I knew that they were a fantastic dog through word of mouth, and the guy who was hunting the dog never even stepped out of the truck just because he knew what he had, and I was wanting to get a look and see what is going on, right? I want to know what this dog's about. I want to get in the woods with this dog, and I want to have every opportunity I can to pick the guy's brain that trained this dog. And that is just kind of how it goes. When I was just getting back into coon hunting after over the past couple years, what I did is I immediately went on and I jumped into every single coonhound group that I could possibly do that was relevant to my state and my area, and I started posting in the groups. Anybody want somebody to tag along? Anybody hunting this weekend? And, getting people to give me feedback and say, hey, I'm hunting over here this weekend. You can come with me over here. We are doing this. Another way too, which is the way that I didn't go and I kind of wish that I would have, so this is something that might change a little bit, is get more into the comp hunting side of things. Now, when we're talking about coonhound and coon hunting, there is kind of two different worlds of coon hunting. And they lend a hand to one another sometimes, and other times they're so backwards from one another that they couldn't be farther apart. And what that is the competition hunting world and the fur hunting world, right? Or the meat hunter world. So we are talking about two totally different worlds because we have this with a mindset goal of knock down as many coons as we possibly can, get the dog under as many trees and see as many eyes as we possibly can to take that fur home or take that meat home. And then the other side is the dog needs to be fast, it needs to be accurate, it needs to be loud, it needs to do its job, and it needs to do its job better and faster and quicker than any other dog out there, so I can win the competition hunt. We're not going to shoot. We are not going to take fur out of the woods. So there is two different worlds there, and you need to decide early what you want for your dog. And there is the world of bench show, right? So just showing a dog is another world that we can get into. A lot of people prefer a dog to hunt and show. Some lines are just about showing dogs. So there is that whole thing to do, and there is definitely a very good way to get into the sport if you've never been. I hope this answers all of your questions. I'm going to go ahead and jump into shout outs now and talk about the giveaway stuff. Taylor Binford, Catfish Cowboy, Carson Grismere, thank you for the video idea. Matthew Richburg, okay, you had a great comment. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. We are over 500 subs officially now, and I couldn't be more happy with that. My expectation of this channel from the very first coon hunting content video that I made, which is my how to train a coon dog solo video. That is such a low energy video, and it did pretty well. And I've kind of growed the ball and got the energy up there for you guys. If you guys like my channel and you like my content, please hit a like and a subscribe down there for me, and we'll keep getting it rolled out for you. Okay, so with the shout outs out of the way, let's talk about the giveaway. Alright, so I'm going to announce the giveaway winner, not the next video, but the video after that. So it may be about a week or so, something like that in that area, before I announce the giveaway winner. But what you guys are going to win, and I'm not rich, right? I'm not rich. I only got 500 subs on YouTube, man. So what we're going to give away to you guys, we're going to go ahead and we're going to give you guys the walkie-talkies from the channel over here. They all work. Kids have currently random dead batteries. I'll get batteries out of them and send them guys to you empty battery. So we're going to get you over the set of 4 walkie-talkies. These are good little walkie-talkies. Kids love them. Using them for my idea of putting it on the collar, they just didn't have the range or the quality for that, but talking back and forth in the woods worked just exactly fine, okay? Another thing that we're going to get sent out to you guys, we're going to get you guys sent out some Dogtra stickers. And don't forget, you guys, use code Melbrook5 at Dogtra.com for 5% off a Dogtra product, $200 or more. Okay, we're gonna get you over a product guide from Dogtra. We're gonna get you sent over a Dogtra bandana, right? So that is the giveaway. If you guys want a chance to win that stuff, get down there and hit a like and a subscribe on the channel and drop a comment and say giveaway. Okay. Thank you guys for stopping in. This kind of got long-winded video, but you guys are awesome. You guys are great, and please hit a subscribe on the channel for us.